Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a year in the TikTok of Jaebae Official. We're just gonna kind of pick up where we left off. I looked, and we're actually all the way back in, I think this is probably gonna be August or September of 2023. It is what it is. We're just gonna she's gonna be like my main focus for the next while, I guess. Going between her and the Four Fab Fatties podcast. So, we're just gonna cover her and see how things go. So I don't want this to be a long intro, so let's just jump into it.
As a plus size babe, it can be so hard to find a towel that actually wraps all the way around you. So today, I'm excited to try out Lux Love towels and see if it fits. Watch till the very end for a discount code. First off, I love this light blue color. It definitely looks wide enough. Now let's see if it fits my size 6X body comfortably. And just like that, it wraps all the way around and covers me fully, which I'm super impressed by. Lux Love makes towels that will fit everybody. Lux Love has payment plans and they offer free shipping. Use code JBAY for 10% off and follow them at Lux Love Towels. As a plus size babe, it can
So I'm just gonna put this out there. I do use what's called a bath sheet. It's basically a very large towel, simply because I like having a nice, like, really large towel, and they tend to be a little bit thicker, so they absorb more water and all that. But I've never had to worry about whether a towel would fit or not. And to me, if you're trying out a towel, like, you are trying out a towel to see if it fits. And when she did wrap, like, yeah, it kind of wrapped around her, but like barely. Barely. That's a long ass towel. That is a very large towel. And it is barely covering her. This is not to shame her. I'm just like, do you understand this should be a concern for you? Did you see how big that towel was? How big was that towel? How long is that towel? That is how long you are around. To me, this would just, it would be a wake up call to me, but maybe I'm being too critical. Let me know what you think.
I'm on a mission to revolutionize the travel industry and make it a more accessible, accepting, accommodating place for all. The needs of plus-size travelers matter just as much as anybody else, and today I'm going to cover what we are looking for in accessible, size-inclusive hotel amenities. Size-inclusive hotel amenities are crucial for ensuring that plus-size travelers feel welcomed, accommodated, and comfortable during their stay. We deserve an environment that respects our needs and body diversity. These are the exact steps that hotels can take to be more size-inclusive and accessible for travelers of all sizes. Number 1 on the list, provide sturdy, wider chairs without armrests in guest rooms, lobbies, and common areas to accommodate different body sizes and types. Number 2 on the list, ensure beds with strong support and a higher weight capacity, along with providing reinforced chairs and wider bathroom facilities. Number 3, make elevators and hallways spacious to allow for easy movement of larger individuals and those utilizing mobility devices. Number 4, install grab bars in showers and near toilets.
So just to put this out there, one, at least in the US, hotels, I think unless they were grandfathered in, built like pre a certain year, I don't know the official stance, but like uh by and large, anything that was made or built after, I think it was the 1970s, for sure. There's others that might have been had to be reformatted since then, but for sure anything built after 1970 has to have a certain width in their hallways to be ADA accessible. So the hallway should already be plenty wide enough. If they are not wide enough for you, that's a you issue. And when it comes for the grab bars with the showers, that should also be in an ADA accessible room. I'm not thrilled about fat people taking the ADA rooms, but like that is an option if it's needed. Um so like, and the beds with a higher weight capacity, at that point you're buying specialty beds. I think that's a little ridiculous to expect hotels have reinforced chairs. And like, we're not saying that these are like wicker chairs. These can still be like regular ass chairs, but if they're not reinforced, that's an issue. To me, all of these issues, and also when it comes to elevators, once it's kind of built, you can't really take the elevator, like, carriage out. At least that's my understanding, is that you can't really take it out and then like replace it. And even if you could replace it, it would still have to be a certain, because that's how the building was built. Like, if you want to advocate for these for newer builds, then I guess you do you. But to expect anyone, I mean, that we're talking millions to reconfigure that sort of thing, all because you are massively overweight. Like, this is one of those things where it's like, it's not like it's completely outside of your control. That's the thing that just frustrates the shit out of me, is that this isn't out of your control. And yet you're bitching that you have gotten yourself to such morbid obesity, and yet people aren't accommodating you in so far as restructuring their building. It just reeks of entitlement. And that's not even touching the fact that, it's like she doesn't realize that she travels a lot. She travels far more than the average person, especially for leisure purposes. She travels way more than the average person. That's a privilege in and of itself. Like, if I was your way and I had enough money for the privilege of travel, I would be working on myself and my physical abilities and losing some weight. Again, this is not necessarily to shame Jaebae, it's just to put her complaints in perspective, you know?
Flexible handheld shower heads, and raised toilet seats for added accessibility. Number 5, train staff to be respectful, understanding, and accommodating to travelers of all sizes. Number 6, provide pool lifts and handrails at the entry of the pool. This will allow for plus size guests and guests with different abilities to enjoy all amenities. Number 7, hotel restaurants should have roomy seating options and sturdy chairs, ensuring that everybody can dine comfortably. Number 8, offer larger beach and pool seating. Provide oversized loungers and seating at the beach and pool areas, allowing travelers of all sizes and abilities to be comfortable. Number 9, hotels should provide size-inclusive bathrobes. These should go up to a size 6X and beyond. And hotels should also provide bath sheets or plus-size friendly towels so that travelers of all sizes and abilities can use them comfortably.
No, I'm sorry. Like, even don't get me wrong, I haven't had necessarily an issue with the hotel towels, but like, if you're really that concerned with certain things about the hotel, you kind of pack your own. If you need a specialty towel, you pack your own. I travel with well, I don't really travel. That's a fucking lie. But a couple of times I with my family have gone on like a road trip um down to California. It's more than a day trip, but it's usually only a couple of days, like a long weekend sort of thing. And I'll pack a fucking fan because I need the white noise. I don't expect the hotel to have the fan that I want to go on because I have sleeping issues. And not only that, but like, do you really, if you're in a hotel, if you're traveling, you can make do with towels that don't fully wrap around you. Like, there's ways to, it's ultimately to dry yourself off. You can make it work, you know? Uh you might take a little longer in the bathroom to dry yourself off, since you'll have to use a towel that doesn't fully wrap around you and all that, but like, it's possible. It's not like it's this big barrier for you, you know?
And last but not least, this is an important one. Display clear and accurate information on these amenities on hotel websites. Include
That is the only thing that her and I agree on. Uh given I think this is just a good business practice in general. For any variety of reasons, it's uncomfortable to have to, like, it's not something that I would necessarily think about. I'll give you that. It's not something that I would necessarily think about. But in general, it's useful to have different measurements and weight capacities and stuff listed on the website somewhere that you can easily access and make decisions for yourself. This helps in so many ways. It keeps calls and emails out of staff inboxes and staff away from the phone to answer these questions, especially if we can just answer them themselves. Especially since the staff probably don't know off the top of their heads half of these things. Where if it's all standardized and you can just put it on your website, it would make things easier. And not only that, but like, I don't know about you, but I have major fucking phone anxiety. I'm not gonna fucking call someone up. I most likely would take my chances. that being said, I have never had an issue with it not working for me, you know? But for once, I do agree with her on that.
Weight limits, seat dimensions, and things like that, and include information on the size-inclusive amenities available. This will help plus-size travelers make informed decisions. By implementing these size-inclusive hotel amenities, hotels can become more inclusive and accommodating. Be sure to hit that follow button for more plus-size.
All right, I probably missed some of her um accommodation recommendations. So if there was one in particular that stood out to you that pissed you off, please let me know in the comments.
Let's talk about how to stay so fresh and so clean as a plus-size babe. Yup, that's right. I'm talking about plus-size hygiene. When it comes to being a plus-size babe, I have a dream team of personal care items, and I'm going to share them with you today. The number one item on my list is tea tree soap, the remedy for skin irritation for plus-size babes, whether it comes to preventing or healing irritation. But wait, there's more. The next hygiene item I swear by as a plus-size babe is body wipes. Your little pocket-sized refreshers, ensuring you stay fresh and clean on the go. Your battle against chafing, consider it conquered. With Mega Babe chafing products. They're linked up on my profile. Keep discomfort.
So, just a couple of things. The body wipes thing, I think that can be useful kind of across the board. If you're going for like serious, like you're gonna be out all day, or if you go hiking, fucking like depending on where you are, sometimes having like a body wipe would be very helpful. So don't hate it. My question is also though, like how often do you need to use those? But ultimately it's not my business. The tea tree soap, here's the thing. I've actually had tea tree soap before. It was this was like 10 years ago when it was like the newest thing in all of the new age shops. And so my mom got some, we tried some. It irritated the shit out of my skin. So, for those of you with highly sensitive skin, it's not I don't necessarily recommend it. Everyone's a little bit different. Test it on the inside of your elbow before you go using it on your whole body. Just save yourself, seriously.
Jaebae and your confidence soaring. And now, a standing ovation for the Lumi all-body deodorant. Your backstage pass to an odor-free extravaganza. But let's not forget the unsung hero, the back scrubber. Stepping in to get into them nooks and crannies. With this powerhouse lineup, you've got plus-size hygiene tackled. Celebrate your unique.
All right. Also for the chafing bit, personally, I just wear bicycle shorts underneath my like I do have issues with um chub rub on my thighs. So for me personally, I wear leggings and bicycle shorts, but that's me. If that's not you, that's not you. Like maybe the recommendation will work. I don't know, but I just wanted to throw that in there. What do you guys think of her hygiene recommendations? Just curious.
Everybody deserves a spa day, and here are some tips to make your experience a little bit better as a plus-size individual. My first tip for us plus-size babes is to research wisely. Be sure to read reviews and make sure you look for images of the spa layout before you decide. Next up, direct communication is key. If you're plus size, I always recommend to call the spa ahead of time and book that way. This way you can ask some questions and let them know that you're plus size and see how size inclusive they are. These next tips are actually going to cover the questions you should ask when you call the spa as a plus size babe. They will help you determine how plus size friendly the spa is and how size inclusive they are. My next tip is robe comfort. When you give the spa a call, go ahead and ask what size robes they have. See how size inclusive they are, and if they don't have one your size, ask if you should bring your own. My next tip is all about wider tables. When you call the spa, ask if they offer wider massage tables for added comfort during treatments. Next up, weight limits. Ask the spa if they know about the weight limits for their tables. This will give you peace of mind. Next up, pool access. If your next spa day includes a hot tub or a pool, ask about pool entry. See if they have a handrail at the entry of the pool. Next up, while you have them on the phone, go ahead and address any privacy concerns you have. Many people worry about privacy during a spa treatment, not just plus-size individuals. When you call the spa, feel free to ask about private treatment rooms or partitions for a more discreet experience. One of the most important tips I have for you is to have a positive mindset. Remind yourself that you are worthy of luxury and comfort no matter your size. Embrace a positive attitude and a focus on relaxing and having a great time. Another really important tip is to advocate for yourself. When you get to the spa, don't hesitate to ask questions or let them know what your preferences are. The staff will want you to feel as comfortable as possible, and you deserve to feel comfortable. And the next one is to share your perspective after your spa visit. Pay it forward. Leave a review and let people know if the spa is plus size friendly and what your experience was like. Your insights can help other plus size babes live their.
All right, we're gonna leave it there. You let me know what you think of this one because it's not. I mean, she's not. She's telling you to ask questions for your own sake in everything. So, like, it's not fundamentally, there's not like a fundamental issue with it. do have a little bit of like, if you have to ask all these questions, wouldn't it just, like, if you have to do this every time you want to indulge in something, wouldn't it be easier to lose weight? Like, I'm not trying to be obtuse, I'm not trying to be like dumb or anything about this, but it's like, why would you not just try to lose weight? I don't get that. And chances are the staff is not necessarily going to know the size of their bathrobes, depending, like, if it's like the front desk person, they may not know, and they may also not know the weight capacity of their massage tables. So what would you do then? So I ended up cutting out the full clip of this only because it has Doja Cat's Paint the Town Red, and I don't want to be flagged on this. So it says, when I became a content creator, I never could have imagined that this would happen. And the video is just her, like a general background of what it looks like when she records. That's all that is, and it says, read the caption. So, maybe she meant read the description, but it says, when I became a content creator, I never knew this would happen. I never thought I could make over six figures with brand deals. I never knew I could make tens of thousands of dollars from views. I never knew I'd have multiple opportunities to be on reality television. I never knew I'd have the ability to help dozens of other. So, one, that helps inform me of just how out of touch you are. If you've been able to capitalize on this kind of entitlement to get, over six figures, then of course you're out of touch and demanding stuff for luxury things that the average person may not have access to. If this is like what you've been able, I mean, get your bag. I'm not gonna. Do I fucking wish I could make over six figures in brand deals? Fuck yes. But like, I'm not gonna. Not gonna shade her on that one. My poor ass wishes I could do that. Uh, but like, it does speak a little bit to her, like, how out of touch she is. Just, I'm curious what your thoughts on this whole thing are. Like, I don't fault her for any of this because, like, if you can make money off it, I mean, go ahead. Like, this life is hard, and if you can make money off of these 30-second TikToks complaining about perceived injustices that could be fixed with what appears to be an ample amount of free time you have and the significant amount of money you have, but you can still make money doing this. I mean, yeah, it's interesting.
Bitch, I said what I said. I'd rather be famous instead.
So this was another one where she was playing Paint the Town Red by Doja Cat, so we're just gonna read the caption because it's just her with a peace sign. That's all it is. Um, Some people need two seats on a plane. If so, the second one should be free. And then it said read the caption to find out more. So we're going to read the description here. In a world where we should all be striving for equality, it's time to confront an issue that has long been swept under the rug: the unequal treatment of plus size travelers when it comes to air travel. We've all seen it. Some people, like myself, needing two seats on a plane, but should they be charged for that second seat? Yeah, you're paying per seat. This is what you're paying per seat. So if you're taking up two seats, you have to pay for both those seats. You are the way planes work is you're not paying per person, you're paying per seat. Should they be penalized for their bodies? They're not being penalized. They take up two seats. They pay for two seats. If you take up a seat and a half, maybe you can, I don't know, as long as you're not taking up more than half the seat, maybe the other person's willing to split that seat with you for a little bit of extra space. I don't know. Should they, okay, their comfort and even their health. My petition calls for the FAA to take a hard look at these policies that govern air travel and demand fairness for plus size passengers. Let's break it down. Airlines routinely charge extra for baggage, legroom, and even in-flight snacks, but when it comes to accommodating larger passengers, they often turn a blind eye. No, you're saying that. Wait, you're saying they routinely charge for extra baggage, legroom, and in-flight snacks, but they turn a blind eye to larger I don't understand that. Because you're complaining that you have to pay for extra seats, and yet you're pointing out other ways, like with leg room, where people who are tall and they have no control over how tall they are, they have to pay for extra leg room. But somehow they're turning a blind eye to the plus size passengers? What? That doesn't make any sense to me. If someone can decode this, please tell me, because I don't understand this. All right. She's using another song that's going to get me copyright claimed, so we're gonna just go ahead and read this. It says, "When six passengers agree airplane seats are uncomfortable, FAA stats reveal the truth. Here are the facts. Last year, the FAA held an open comment period inviting the public to share their thoughts on whether airplane seats are too small for safety. Since then, when asked about my plus size travel petition, they only refer to that open period. So I took matters into my own hands and began analyzing the responses collected. Here's what I found." So if they're taking open comments, though, I would. Let's take a look at the open comment period and see if we can see the comments, and that's what she's referring to. So I don't see anything where you can actually see the comments at all. FAA's, you can participate in Zoom watching meetings on live stream on FAA's YouTube account, so maybe it was in there. But no link is suspicious. So, and my question is, because this is kind of oddly worded, Um, she has a plus size travel petition which has comments underneath it. So is she referring to the open comments from the FAA or the comments from her petition? Because if she's only taking the ones from her petition, then that is a skewed that's skewed data, because only those that care about this plus size travel petition, which would most likely be more plus size people, would enter comments about this, and therefore there's going to be a higher rate of people, if they are already plus size, complaining about seat sizes. And not only that, but even here she says on whether airplane seats are too small for safety, not for comfort. That's an important distinction. She does mention here that 1/6 people believe airplane seats are too small for safety and comfort, but because she keeps including comfort in there, it's like, how many were just safety? And if we're saying 1/6 for both safety and comfort, that does not necessarily imply that each comment that she's referring to for this 1/6 mentioned both safety and comfort. So there could be a disproportionate amount that just are only talking about comfort that you're looping in here to make your ratio seem more impactful, which is misleading for the data. And then 1/6 people believe airplane seats are uncomfortable. So see, lack of comfort and uncomfortable, 1/6 for both, says that maybe one or two people also mentioned safety, but you just looped everything in and they all mentioned discomfort. So it would stand to reason that this is far less about safety and more about comfort, which is not what the FAA was looking into anyway. Like, FAA doesn't give a fuck about comfort, not significantly anyway. They're talking about safety. Your focus is comfort. They are not comparable or worth, like, the FAA probably doesn't care about the comfort level aspect of it. Like, this whole thing is very shadily done. Cut that out. Hot take: every airline should have a customer of size policy like Southwest Airlines. All right. 91% of surveyed individuals believe the travel industry is not plus size friendly. Where was this survey conducted? Was it on your plus size travel petition? Was it? Because that's going to have people that are signing your petition not only are more likely to be plus size travelers, they're more likely to have an issue with the lack of policies in place, and they're more likely to feel like it is not plus size friendly because they're the ones impacted by it. And if they are morbidly obese, that's even further going to skew the results of how uncomfortable and unfriendly they perceive it to be. Where was this survey, Jaebae? Was it your plus size travel position? Because then the date. I'm sorry, the data skewed. If more airlines adopted policies like Southwest Airline's customer of size policy, offering free and reimbursed additional seats for plus size passengers who need more space. Air travel would be far more accessible and accommodating to people of size. Oh my god, it's just so selfish and privileged. Like the the lack of self-awareness in these just boggles my mind sometimes.
Down near the Vancouver waterfront, you can find the Greater Vancouver Chamber of Commerce that helps local businesses make Southwest Washington so special. You don't have to travel far away to have fun. Let's explore Clark County today. The Vancouver Waterfront Park is one of my favorite spots in the whole city. You can find so many new up-and-coming businesses downtown, like Hotel Indigo. Clark County hasn't always had these amazing amenities. It's truly because of what our elected officials have done for us that we have such a great community. Your voice matters, and by voting for local officials in Clark County, you can have a direct impact on our community. So get more involved and check out the local Southwest Washington Facebook group at the link in my bio. Down near the Vancouver waterfront.
As someone who grew up in Washington, I'm sorry, Clark County, like Clark County, I believe is the county where Mount St. Helens is in, and so like that's a big pull to Clark County. I believe Clark County was is where I need to look that up now. So, Mount St. Helens is in Skamania County, which is located just east of Clark County. They're neighbors. So, and Clark County is a small county in Washington. It's not terribly big. It's not like it's a bad county. It's a fine county, but like there isn't a whole lot to do out there compared to, King County, which is where Seattle is, or even Pierce County, where Tacoma is. Or if you wanted to go, I think fucking Index probably has more with the Twilight fan stuff around than and Index is in, oh fuck, don't remember, one sec. I had to look it up. One, it wasn't Index, it was Forks. Forks, Washington was the I don't watch Twilight, all right? I'm remembering random towns. But Forks is all the way in Clay Elum, and which for anyone who doesn't know is like it's a seafront uh county. It borders the sea, and it is one of the westmost counties. It is, well, there's several west, so it can't be the westmost, but it's one of the westmost counties in Washington, and is significantly further north than Clark County. So Clark County borders Oregon. For anyone who's like, I don't know why I'm doing this geography lesson on Washington State. But there we go. My point is that it's not that Vancouver, Washington is a bad place or anything, but it's not exactly a tourist destination. I know she's trying to promote like the place she lives and everything, but I really can't stress enough that Clark County isn't a destination. It's a place worth visiting if you're going to be in the surrounding areas. But as far as I know, Vancouver doesn't have a whole lot. Um, in terms of attractions.
Hey everyone, it's been a minute, so I just wanted to give you an update on the things that I'm doing, working on, and everything behind the scenes of Jaebae Productions. As many of you know, I launched a plus-size travel petition in April of this year. I've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes for that, to make progress. Lately, I've been reaching out to many stakeholders who can help us make progress and real change in the travel industry. This has included meeting with the team of a prominent center in the United States. I've been talking with airline representatives, reaching out to different airlines, and doing everything I can to make progress on this initiative. I've also been doing a lot of community work and more advocacy, which is making my heart feel so full. Right now, I'm also doing a lot of work with the FatCon team to gear up for FatCon in early January of 2024, and I am so excited and hope to see so many of you there. I'm also working on a huge project that I hope to be able to share more about very soon that could absolutely revolutionize things for plus-size individuals. I'm managing a few creators and their social media collaborations and social media accounts. I'm mentoring several women of color. As being a multiracial person myself, it's very important for me to give back to my community. And I'm also partnering with a company I truly admire to help work on inclusivity and accessibility for people of all sizes and abilities. Doing all the work that I am doing in the plus size community has truly been so rewarding and fulfilling. I might not be posting as much as I normally do right now, but please believe I'm doing so much work to make an impact in this community, and I truly care about each and every one of you, and I'm so thankful for the support you've shown me. So yeah, there's a little life update and some.
Honestly, like I'm not surprised that she spent this time. I have some serious questions about whether that she thinks she's done are as high profile as she's like kind of painted them to be. I wouldn't be surprised if she's having a big impact in like Vancouver, Washington, and in Clark County. I wouldn't be surprised if she is, especially because like just in general, the louder you are, whether she's taken seriously or not, she'll become like a local legend in her own right, for better or worse. We have a couple of those uh where I live, and because I'm still in the Pacific Northwest. Uh and then where I grew up, there were a couple people that you just know about. You just know about them. And I wouldn't be surprised if she becomes one of those people. But thoughts on her update. And we have a bit of time left. I'm gonna see. We have like, since she's not posting as much during this time, and we did cover FatCon already. We covered FatCon like almost, I think it was over a year ago now. Um, but we're gonna go ahead and keep going and see if we can get to 2024 before we stop.
Today, we're going to dive into how to respond to those questionable comments from family members and loved ones during the holiday season. If anyone says this, do you really think a person your size should be eating that? Then you should say something like, I appreciate your concern, but commenting on someone else's food choices isn't helpful. Let's focus on enjoying the meal together without judgment. If anyone says this, are you sure you want to wear that? It's not very flattering for someone your size. Then you should say something like, I choose my clothing based on what makes me feel comfortable and confident. Commenting on someone else's appearance or suggesting they should hide their figure perpetuates harmful beauty standards. Let's embrace individuality and respect each other's choices when it comes to personal style and expression. If anyone says this, looks like you've gained weight since I last saw you. What happened? Then you should say something like, it's important to remember that bodies change and weight fluctuations are natural. Instead of focusing on appearances, let's celebrate the time we have together and enjoy the holidays. Happy holidays from Big Fig Mattress and I. Let's celebrate.
So I can't speak to Jaebae's family. I know my family, and I know they, even if you were to put diplomatic expressions like that, they would not care. They would push the issue because they would need the last word. So instead, and this still generates a negative reaction, but it's so much more entertaining for me. When they say that, you look them straight in the eye and then you turn away and do something. You can read a ketchup bottle. It doesn't fucking matter. You just make it clear that you do not want to engage with them. They'll keep pushing. And one of the, like, this is so passive aggressive. Like, I recognize that, but it's, my family runs in passive aggression. And so, like, it's just one of those things where it just makes it's better to do it this way. Because they will then, they're just baffled. It's it's delightfully confusing for them, but for me it's delightful. Um where you just make a very pointed stance of I'm not answering that. And if they push it enough, you can just say I'm not answering that. You can't. I'm very avoidant though, because I will also just purposefully move. Sometimes if they're talking to me, and this is partially just because I've been cut off so much when I've tried to like talk about something that was important to me. But if they try to talk to me about something I don't want to talk about, I'll cut them off to speak to someone else and just like cut them off. Like, is it toxic? Probably, but it's how I've survived family events. So if this doesn't work, do my method and see how far you get.
So this is a great question, and I actually have a ton of videos up on my page about the Southwest customer size policy, which I'm going to talk about right now. So the way that I get a refund for my second seat when I'm flying as a plus size traveler is by using something called a customer of size policy. A customer of size policy is a special policy put in place by airlines for plus size passengers and passengers who need more space when flying. Southwest customer of size policy is one of the best in the game for plus size travelers. Specifically with the Southwest customer of size policy, they will give you a second seat either free of charge, or if you decide to purchase it up front, you can get it refunded after the flight. That right there is how I get a refund for my second seat when I'm flying on Southwest Airlines. I hope that I answered your question, and if I didn't, you can check out more resources.
So I don't really feel need to hear the rest of this. My issue with the customer of size thing, like, let's say you need a second seat. All right, and let's say that the flight was not sold out. Do I agree with giving you a free seat? I don't know, but if it like there were already going to be empty seats on board, then I guess I don't really have a problem with you being moved or someone else being moved for you, especially if they were sitting in a middle seat, being someone else being moved, probably a more preferential seat, so that way you can have two. And then if you're not charged for it, that's fine. My issue comes in with when it's a full plane and you get a free seat, and whether that be because someone was barred because you bought yours ahead of time and then got a refund, or that someone was kicked off to make room for you. Either one of those does rub me the wrong way. The one that irritates me the most is someone else getting kicked off because of your fat ass. Like that pisses me off. You derailed someone else because you're not gonna like there's no even financial consequences for it or anything. You're selfish. You are abhorrently selfish. I'm sorry, that's my opinion on it. You are nothing but a selfish, entitled prick if that's how you get your second seat. In my opinion. I'd like to hear yours.
Tis the season to give, and this year I'm giving to NAFA's Fun Fat campaign. This year, NAFA has been hard at work fighting for a better world for fat folks just like me. They passed legislation to ban height and weight discrimination in New York City. They worked with Pinterest to create more inclusive search results on their platform, and they hosted over 50 free virtual events for our community. We all know that weight stigma and body bias affect millions and millions of people. So it's super important to me to help NAFA continue the work that they're doing this year and beyond. Join me by donating to their Fun Fat campaign. Click the link in my bio or head to @NAFA official.
I feel like I should probably do an entire video just on the NAFA website. But that whole thing with New York, that was Fat Fab Feminist's big thing. Something about more inclusive search results, which just seems so fucking stupid. I don't know. Like, it is. Of all the issues that are in our world, this just strikes me as self serving, hollow, and taking away from attention that should be directed to more important issues. And perhaps that's me getting on my high horse, and perhaps that's just the difference in where we hold values. But, like, there's just something about that I find so frustrating. 83.6% of people surveyed believe that airplane seats do not provide enough room for passengers to travel comfortably and safely. If this is at all like that 1 in 6 bullshit, I think it is the 1 in 6 bullshit. Again, you are. Let's see. Does she say a whopping? God, this is misleading. A whopping 83.6% of people are saying loud and clear that airplane seats aren't cutting it. They're just not giving us enough room to travel comfortably and safely. I love that she wraps in comfortable and safely because and let's be clear, comfortable is labeled first because that's what matters most. She doesn't really care about safety, she cares about comfort. I'm here not just as a plus size travel advocate, but as someone lighting a spark for change. In a world of flying, I'm telling a story, blah 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 blah. You don't fucking tell me where you're getting this survey. My guess is that it was your petition, which is skewed data. But even if it isn't, you're not telling us where it's from. So I can't help but wonder if you're either 100% just making this shit up or you're getting it from a biased source. So she says Southwest Airlines customer of size policy has been around for decades. Don't believe the media. Blah blah blah. So she says it's been around. It's been in place for over 30 years. It's crucial to record straight on the customer of size policy, which has gained recent attention, but has actually been around. Has actually been in place for over 30 years. I wonder what triggered that policy. I wonder if it was NAFA related. It might be worth checking that out. Like I feel like I need to make a list of other things that we can go into over the summer, like NAFA website, origin of the customer of size policy on Southwest Airlines, just to get a better understanding. We're about 10 days out from when it would be 2024, but honestly, I spent some time researching stuff, so a good portion of this video was cut, but like I need to wrap it up here, unfortunately. So, I felt beat up by life a little bit this weekend on multiple levels. So I didn't really read much manga, and I haven't really done much other than play those little games on YouTube, which are just time suckers. So this whole weekend is kind of about me resetting for myself and trying to get back to the routine that I loved. So I don't really have anything much to add this week, but I hope you enjoyed the video. Take care of yourselves. I hope you guys have lovely weeks, and I will see you next time.